All right, guys, we're back. Maybe, hopefully. Let me see. I'm monitoring things over here on my Mac like I do every time, just to yeah. Look, it looks like it. All right, I think we're back in uh, action, I guess. The funny thing is, when I rebooted and opened up OBS here, which is the the broadcasting software that I use, the free, it's worth every penny. It changed cameras on me. So like the camera you're seeing right now is the camera that we were using before. But in the interim there, that little aborted attempt that I've been fumbling with the last couple minutes, it switched to the other camera and it was zoomed in like just hugely on my eye. And then now, so I got out of OBS, opened it back up, and we're back to the original camera. All right, the link seems to be working. Rom's in the chat with us. Hopefully I didn't lose too many other people, or they'll, you know, join us up lately. But Rom, since you missed my my earlier rants, you know, I can share with you here in a second. Basically, today's strip is just going to be about stupid decisions that I've made, and based on, inspired by last night, I completely erased and reset my iPhone because I was having problems with my iTunes. Long story short, and got rid of some very important information that was in my notes app, like you know, the strips. When I'm walking down the street and I have an idea for a strip, I'll jot it down in my notes or whatever, and also some important passwords for various websites and stuff like that. I keep in my notes, which is probably not smart anyway, but whatever. And yeah, they were all gone. So luckily I was able to get them a backup that's a couple weeks old, almost a month old, but didn't lose them for good. But anyway, it was a boneheaded move, and okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, thanks. So so here we are, and we're gonna try to make this happen now. Luckily we've got the let me just adjust the camera. This guy likes to slide down a little. Alright, we got the template all set up. It looked like the technical issue I was having before was that the pressure sensitivity wasn't working on my tablet, so everything, like you can see in the sketches that I've got going so far, everything was just the same kind of width. So yeah, there you go. The reboot fixed it. There was no reason for it in the first place, but okay, we're throwing, without further ado, we're throwing JPuff here. And Troll's going to be talking to her. Again, we'll give him that same mansplaining hand that he likes to use. Like, hey everybody, actually, alright, and then in the final one, it's going to be him again. I'm going to do it, I think, facing the other direction, just so that he's kind of facing in towards the strip. You know, you don't really want to have a character face like looking off the page on the end strip or the end panel, just because you don't want the reader's eye to follow them. No, Jonathan, you didn't miss out on anything. Sorry for the yeah, sorry for the delay here. I think what happened is when I rebooted, Chrome launched back up, and then it had remembered the link to YouTube. But every time I open up the YouTube like broadcast or whatever, it gives me a unique link for that session, and I think that it was remembering the old link. So all I had to do was just close that down and open up a new session with the YouTube, and it worked. So a little bit of operator error. Let me see. I'm going to rethink this here. Final panel. I don't think it needs troll at all. We're getting on the spider webs again. We're going to get in trouble. All right, cool. So we got that kind of set up. All right, let's save that real quick. We've had so many technical issues. Yeah, no. So, hey, Jonathan, you mentioned in the other stream about a webcomic that you posted. I couldn't find it anywhere. If you hit that link, I'd be happy to take a look at it. But I didn't see it anywhere on the Patreon page. But yeah, anyway, like I said, I'll take a look after this exciting time that we're having here together right now. All right, so I'm hopping up to the balloon layer, and I'm gonna dump the dialogue in. So we're going to make that 18 point centered with no hyphenation. And that's, of course, we need Kabbalar as our font, and turn the caps locks on. You're right. A supplemental warranty sounds like a great idea. All right. Let's drop that A down to the next line. All right, cool. Yeah, I did that and wasted thousands of dollars when I bought my my last Jeep. All right, in the next panel, luckily I was able to get out of it, but it was a real pain in the ass to get out of it, and it wound up, costing me money in the meantime. And I had to call like so many different places and be like, hey, I want out of this stupid gap insurance. That's ugh, yeah. All right, so don't ever do that. All right, the second one is going to be something that everybody can kind of reflect on. The weatherman says we won't need our umbrellas. Let's say the weatherman says no chance of rain. All right. Everybody can get behind that one. And then the third one is somewhat related. I guess this one, this last panel was inspired by the difficulties I just had with my iPhone. And I don't, I haven't had an iMac like that for years. But yeah, this is artistic license here, kids. It's going to be like Cloud Schmoud. I've got all my files right here on Old Sparky. Or how about all my files are safe, right? Yeah, that's good. That's fine. Cloud Schmoud. All my files are safe right here on Old Sparky. And we've all had that happen. I've never been silly enough to have all of my files just on a computer, but I've had them like backed up on a Western Digital hard drive. I think it was a WD, and fried it. I don't know how many times I've fried and lost files that I didn't have actually on the computer. The only place I had them was on the external hard drive, which is probably even dumber than having them only on the internal hard drive. You only do that 5 or 6 or 12 times until you're like, hey, the cloud's probably a good idea. So now I have everything redundantly in the cloud, a bunch of different places, including our personal cloud server in the troll hole here. All right, so that's the premise of what we got going on. Without further ado, let's just jump into inking this bad boy. Maybe we'll finish this thing by tomorrow. All right, so we got the black ink going. Jump back over here to the blob brush, and let's draw a troll. There it goes. A little bit small on his ear there. I like to make these lines on his shirt pretty thick because they're they have the checker pattern on them, the plaid, and that way I can go light with the plaid lines and have some a little bit of differentiation on there. Favorite part of the day here is drawing the plaid. I was actually worried. I guess it might have been an Illustrator problem that was causing us not to get this pressure sensitivity. But when I started it up this morning, it was really slow. So I had maybe a thought that it was going to give us some trouble. But I never would have guessed that it would have been, something with the pen. All right. Rom's a Jeep man. He's got a really nice one. I'm currently Jeepless, but I'll get another one. I'm waiting for that scrambler to come out. Alright, that's fine. Alright, then we got our good friend J Puff here. Hopefully her loops will go okay today. Perfect. We went up to her parents own a lake house in Fox Lake, Wisconsin. So that's where we spent the weekend. And I think there might be a comic strip in it. just in, while we were up there, we had to clean a bunch of stuff and mow the lawn. I was like, what is this, Chore Island? I came to get away. If I wanted to do chores, I could have stayed in the air conditioning at home with the cat, But so there might be something about that. Although I don't know if you want to piss off the in-laws. And look ungrateful at the same time. Rom, have you taken a look at the new Jeeps? I know those the 2018s look pretty slick. I think the windshield's swept just a little bit different. The body style is just a little different. I'm gonna cheat and just use the shape tools, so it, so it doesn't look as janky as if I was just doing it with the brush. I can align these guys. That commission's going all right. I'm working on another cover for Alex Kammer over at Gamehole Publishing. He's got a whole bunch of stuff in my docket. So he's my main patriot, my main commission guy. Client, is that what they're called? Yeah, he's my main client for the time being. But it's going pretty well. He's a real easy guy to work with. And I'm not just saying that because we're on, broadcasting. And it's an owl bear, so they're always fun to draw. I have to send him the sketch over today. I finished it the other day and was just waiting for his feedback on something. Alright, let's see here. I think the best way to do this is to put this guy like that. And I'm going to give this guy a white fill. Kind of knocks out the background there, but when we drop a halftone in the back, we'll be happy that we did that. Because we won't have to make a stupid shape, This guy, I'm going to use the eyedropper tool to pick up the same fill and stroke on that, and then we take all these guys and center them, align them to the center rather. This guy, send him to the back. There you go. Wait. And I think all these guys will group them. And I actually want to. What the deuce is going on here? All right. And then I want to expand the strokes. Like right now, the shapes that got made were, they were white shapes with a black stroke around them. And sometimes when you have that black stroke and you resize the artwork somewhere down the road for whatever reason, the stroke won't resize with the rest of the art. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it don't. It don't because it doesn't. Because everything's a mystery. Always. But one way to keep that from happening, pardon me, is to convert the stroke to an actual shape, and then it will work with everything else. So that's what I just did. I converted the stroke to a shape, just as foresight down the road in case we ever need to shrink this down for the commemorative Troll and Friends stamps, or blow it up for the Troll and Friends billboards. Right? You're expecting to purchase a 2020. Yeah. I think that I'm waiting for that Scrambler to come out. I've always loved Scramblers. But in the meantime, I don't want to buy the first model year of anything. So my Ford Focus is doing awesome, except for the fact that it's Wisconsin, and if I have to commute anywhere farther than like 15 minutes, it's a real pain in the ass. So I think I might just get a like a beater Cherokee for a little while, depending on on what kind of real job I get. And then just save up pennies. All right, sorry about that. Save up pennies for the scrambler when it happens. I like to put loops in here just to make it difficult for myself, right? Alright, that's good. And then I like to do a knockoff of the Apple logo, just in case they want to sue me later. And it wasn't even the Apple drive that failed, it was a Western Digital. Alright. But there was probably a WD drive inside the Apple at the time. Anyway, alright. And then the spiderwebs I'm going to do in gray on the shading level. So let's save that. And we'll hop over here to our layers, get on the shading layer, lock up the ink layer again. Swatches, we'll get a nice medium gray going. Hide the blue line. And zoom in. It's a janky looking Jeep, but it'll get the point across. Changing the brush size. Dang it, why did that do that? Alright, try that again. Change the brush size to 7 just so we can, make it nice and broad. So I saw on somewhere on the Twitters, Rom knows I'm pretty active on the Twitters, as is he, that Walmart has a 5-headed dragon incense burner that's just like white. It's just like white resin or porcelain or something like that. And someone had bought one and painted it to look like Tiamat, like the 5-headed dragon queen. That was pretty awesome. So I might swing by later when I'm running some errands and see if I can get one. They're $10. I checked the website and they're $10, and I think that's a decent price to pay. I try to avoid Walmart, especially the one here by us is terrible. But it might be worth a shot. Alright. His little hat. Almost forgot his hat. And of course we're going to throw some halftones in the back here. His beard. Trying not to cut corners here. And then we got a little bit of a late start. Glad it's all run smoothly now, knock on wood. I assume it is. I'm looking over at my, yep, okay. I'll look over at the Macintosh with which I'm, watching my own stream here. And, have to make sure that my camera hasn't frozen. It likes to do that. But it wasn't frozen, I was just very much concentrating. There we go. Looks like I forgot to do the stripes on his shirt in this panel, so we'll catch that in the next. We'll catch that here in a second. So this morning I've got the theme song for Orange is the New Black stuck in my head, which is terrible. It's not a good theme song. Although we've been binging that. The new season came out and Janelle watched it, and I'd never seen it before. I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. So I binged like all the old episodes or all the old seasons. But now the theme song is stuck in my head. It's Regina Spektor, so it should be good, but it's just not to my liking. Are you going to get another 4-door Wrangler there, Rom, in 2020? I'm gonna add that one little bump on there so she doesn't look like a penis. All right. I'm just going. Oh yeah. Okay. So that's not working because the. All right. I got some work here to do. Go to the ink layer, and first off, those lines that I drew in for whatever reason, these guys and all these guys are flat black. I don't know. I don't have any idea why it changes like that. It's pretty annoying. No, they're still. And it probably doesn't matter. I'm like, you guys maybe can't see it and whatnot, but it's just annoying. All right, so I'm gonna take the blob brush. You know, I don't have a family, so I think the 4-door is too big for me, Rom. You know, you got kids and stuff, and you always like to do all that outdoor stuff. And we go camping too, but you know, I've always liked the 2-doors. But like I said, I'm waiting on that Scrambler, which is basically it's the 2-door version, and then it's got a pickup truck bed instead of like the rest of the back. Instead of a back seat and the space behind the back seat, it's just got an actual pickup truck bed. So it's just got like a small cap up front that you can still remove and everything like that. They only made I want to, like, for a little bit of time in the 80s. I want to say, like, from 81 until 85 or something. And then they brought out the Unlimiteds in 2000 and 2004, 5, and 6, which were sort of like that. Like, they still had the back seat, but they were the long wheelbase ones, which is what my last Jeep was. Actually, it was the Jeep here in this picture was one of those. But it wasn't quite the same. You know, it still had the long cap and everything on it, and a back seat. Where this is just it's a Jeep pickup truck with a removable top. Perfect. Everything I want. Yeah, we'll see. They're coming out. I think they're coming out in. Oh, really? Yeah, they might be making the 4-door Scrambler. You're right. Now that you say that, that is way too much. I don't have that much. I don't have that many passengers or that much gear. I would just stick with the 2-door. Plus, it'd probably be like 60 grand or something, right? Alright, I need to, let's see here, I need to retcon kind of what I did. Alright, the problem I'm running into is that since I made these, I tried to like be smart, plan ahead, and made these have a white fill on them so that when I put the halftone in later, I don't have to go in and like make the shape and block them out of the halftone. But, like, put the white in, you know, so they aren't transparent. But now I can't throw any shading on, so I'm gonna have to undo that. So I think that's what's gonna happen here. Let's zoom in a little bit. Alright. The nice thing about Illustrator is you can go in and adjust all these little points here. Yeah, there you go. And then this one too. Oops. So I'm just adjusting these points so that you can't see the shape. Good. I want these guys to go up again. You know, this is a very simple premise. It shouldn't have given us any trouble at all. But here we are. Alright, and I'm just going to add another point here on this line. And we can jink that up so that, yeah, so now, unfortunately, we're going to have to go in and make a shape of white behind everything. Come on, zoom out, asshole. We about had it with Illustrator today. Okay, there we go. Alright, so you can see where I was trying to fill in that that leaf before. Alright, so I'm gonna save that. Have a little drink. A little drinky poo. Jump over here to the shading there again. And then so I'll pick up that gray so it's the same gray. And I'm actually going to use this rounded ellipse tool and fill that up so it's all gray. That worked out surprisingly well. Blob brush, jump that back up to 7. Fill in this little logo here. Line under here. Alright. That top of that wire there kind of makes a tangent with this little line of the desk, but I don't give a shit. I'm not redrawing it. Oh, I just got a Facebook message from J-Puff. She must be on her lunch break at work. Cannot respond. I'm doing the business, making the arts. What is that? Some kind of white line showed up. Let me just see if that's on the ink layer. See, try to erase it. What the hell is going on? Alright. So now we got to switch back to a blue brush, or a 3-point brush. Jump up to the ink layer. Sorry guys. That should not have done that, but shoulda, woulda, coulda. Alright, now get back down to the shading. I don't know where that little white squiggle came from. It's gone now. Alright, we got some tongue action here on the troll. Come on. Couple sloppy spots here that I'll clean up real quick. Alright. I think what I want, let's jump back to the balloon layer, which is fine. And I'm going to make a frowny face. Right? Then we can make that huge. Oops. Let's see, create outlines should be Shift Control O, but it didn't work, so we'll just do it the long way. Oops. Okay, there we go. And we'll draw in the balloons. And of course, I can take this and drag that up so it's in the middle of this balloon here. All right. This isn't even really a funny gag to be like this much work. To be this much hassle. Cool. Alright, let's save that. And then the final thing is our halftones. So we're over by a little bit, but that's okay. I think for this one, just hold on, I'm on the balloon layer. So let's undo that. We gotta lock the balloon layer, get to the halftone layer. Unlock that. You know what might be smart is just to make the halftone layer go around instead of like having the halftone in and then having to drop in a white shape. We can just do this here. It's lagging a little bit behind where I'm putting in these points. Hopefully it'll have pity on this and not crash. Until I can save. Oh, let's see here. Alright. Yeah, I guess I did want that lower, didn't I? I can get rid of these points. Alright, let's see here. Yeah. And then we will fill that, everybody's favorite part of the day. Fill that bad boy with a gradient, or with a halftone. So here we go through all the halftone patterns that I have. Yeah, that was not bad. Alright, I like it. And over here, I want one that curves. And I'm just going to go in and drop that white in on top of it. I didn't like that other way, so we're just going to kind of do it this way, even though it's a little bit extra effort. Today's stream has been extra effort. So we might as well make the best product possible, right? Correct. Alright. Plus I'm getting fast at this part of the program. A little bit of J-Puff up here. Boom. Alright, let's save that real quick. And then I think just a rectangle here for this guy. Yeah. And then we'll do white on top of him. Alright. What do I do? Hold on. Back that up, Jay. Back that train up. I went the wrong way with that. Click. So as you guys know that J Puff's been DMing for our Dungeons and Dragons group, and she always does. She does a lot of kind of research online to find good ideas and things like that. And one thing she saw, or came up with herself, it's possible, but I think she saw it somewhere, was participation ribbons for whoever rolls last in the initiative process. So like if you come dead last in initiative, you get this participation ribbon and you get a +1 to your AC. I think it's funny. So we're going to use that next time we play. Alright, I think that I want this corner to be a little bit lower. Angles are always a little bit more dramatic than straight lines. Oops. There. Right, and then we have to adjust because we got lazy on this one. On this here white shape. So we just need to drag that up there. And that covers it up. Alright, so let's just make sure everything makes sense. Troll and Friends presents Boneheaded Moments. I'm going to add a hyphen. And we'll just knock this down to compensate. Let's say 35.5, 5.75. Should be perfect. Perfect. All right. Save it real quick. You're right. A supplemental already sounds like a great idea. Weatherman says no chance of rain. Let's leave our umbrellas at home. Clouds Mound. All my files are safe right here on Old Sparky. It's awesome. I want to put maybe a sign in the back that says auto sales, just to make it clear that come on. All right. I want to jump over to the excuse me, shading layer and just drop some shadow behind that sign. So we'll kick it up to 7 points. Use the eyedropper to make sure we get the same gray, because I can never remember which gray I used. And we'll just drop a line underneath there. Alright. Alright, cool. I think that that gets the idea done. So despite all of our technical fuck-ups, you guys hung in there with me, and I appreciate that. So yeah, that's the strip. I will export it and post it to our good friends at Patreon that couldn't join us this morning. I know, I do this during the day, so some people can't tune in at work or whatever, or don't want to. But anyway, so that's that, and we'll do this again on Wednesday, hopefully with fewer glitches. But thanks for sticking in there, guys. Take it easy.